Yeah.
Goofy faces.
Right?
You gotta get ready, man. It's always a...
My sister told me, she said, B's got really good goofy faces, and she said, you just look goofy.
You know? Hey, before we get started, I know we're filming right now, but I want to take a selfie.
Yeah,
That's
that's
perfect.
So we can.
All this could be cut out or put in as
Hey,
a clip.
I've seen you guys, you know, just like doing the behind the scenes footage, so I love it, and I think that's what's up.
It totally
Yeah.
People love it.
Hey, all right.
Try to take another one with just the green screen because you had a little bit of white. Because I can actually put the pie stuff behind us.
There we go.
Yeah, buddy.
No.
Hey.
What is it? Great rising. We don't do good mornings and we don't do tea.
Oof.
It's your host, B. Welcome to the bakery. We are enjoying our day after Christmas. We have a very special guest, aside from your co-host, Priscilla Z. This is No Chill Jill.
Hey.
Go ahead, tell them who you are, what you do, what you're about.
All right. Well, man, you know, I'm a Jill of all traits for sure. And I'm the owner and creator of NuYOU Cooking and Consulting, where we help elevate to the new you through a plant-based lifestyle. I also am co-founder of Nubo 3 Lifestyle, where we help marry you to your ideal lifestyle. I recently graduated from school and am currently a practicing nutritional therapy practitioner. So I got some good food for y'all today.
Hey, shout out Threat Brown.
Of course, Threat Brown, the one and only Threat Brown.
I love it. Well, I guess we'll start in on the meaning of pie today, just to revamp everybody. So we want to pour out that tea because we're trying to pursue our internal evolution. Everybody's on a mission right now, and we've all got our own version of it. But the key factor is that we want to be full up on pie and not on that tea.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Today, I did want to touch base. Last week, we talked about some questions and some comments that hit our page, but we did not touch on one on accident. But the value of it is still immense to our currency. So, big shout out to Kalina. She wrote something super cool, I think. I like this a lot. I think this will be very uplifting to your audience and help them take accountability for what type of energy they give and receive. Nice work.
Facts.
Yeah, B, do you want to touch on that at all?
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Kalina, we go way back. So thank you for tuning in. Big shout out to you. I know the work you do in your personal life is amazing. And it's an honor. It's an honor to have people continue to comment, continue to drop their questions, and just indulge in pie and be willing to pour out the tea. And how many of you accepted that challenge to not accept any tea come your way? Matter of fact, if any of you experience someone trying to serve you some tea, and if so, how did you navigate that during the holiday?
Well, for me, it was like the chocolate fountain was full of tea. It was almost like an ever-flowing event. And the whole time, though, what I kept saying is, I saw the pie on the table. And I used that actually as a way of settling myself down. And I took it as a challenge. It was really great. I had a good time. I had the best time. And I got to feel free from a lot of baggage that was not my business. And I really do believe it's because I just didn't even touch that fountain. There was no tea for me. What about you?
You know, I did not experience any tea, honestly. You know?
Hey.
Yeah. So I'm actually pretty highly allergic to tea. So I need my EpiPen, you know?
Yeah,
love it.
For sure.
But yeah, no.
I love it. Well, Jill, I really appreciate you being here today. And I would love to jump into our wonderful book, Keep Effing Going.
Joshua Smith.
Oh, yes. And good old Jordan Davis. Would you mind taking on day 3?
For sure.
Day
All
3.
Right. Day 3. Vincent Van Gogh only sold one painting in his lifetime, but is now considered one of the greatest artists of all time. What lessons can we learn from Van Gogh's perseverance and dedication to his craft, despite experiencing little recognition and success during his lifetime?
Well, to me, I like to go back to what's your definition of success?
Took the thoughts right out of my head.
Maybe to him, he wasn't about selling that painting. You know, maybe at the end of his day, it was all about what he was creating. Sometimes that flow or that energy, it might not get that USDA, but it could be getting all over the world via our souls and our uplifting selves.
Yeah, I think, going along with that too is success is different for everybody. And what defines success? Money or recognition doesn't necessarily define success. Success comes from a place from within. So I think that, we will never know, what that meant to him. But the lesson that we can learn from that is just stay in your flow, stay in your lane, and honestly do what makes you happy and feel fulfilled at the end of the day.
And that's a prime example because that quote is someone else's narrative of Van Gogh's experience.
Right.
For all we know, and that author wrote or knows, is that Van Gogh could have felt extremely successful just for having completed the paintings that he completed.
Right.
Because the journey for him might have been the process of painting the pictures themselves. Yeah. So for him, every time he completed a picture, a painting, he was successful. We don't know that. And it goes to show when other people are trying to write your narrative, you don't have to agree to that. Because Priscilla said it great on the last episode, right? That she defined her success by how she feels, which is like a really great place to start when you're about to define your success. How do you feel about you, your choices, the decisions you're making, the people in your life? Are you drinking that tea or are you indulging in pie?
Something that makes me feel good too, that I've noticed throughout my lifetime, is that when I'm leading by a positive example, I end up feeling very fulfilled and gratified. So we don't know Vincent Van Gogh's story. We don't know how many people he was around when he was painting those paintings. We don't know what leadership he was showing the town. Maybe he was doing something that no one had ever done before. No one had ever seen the possibilities. And every time he went at it, he could have been creating a ripple effect that turned so many other people into brilliant artists. He has that value is immense. It's something that you can't actually put an amount on.
Yeah, it's not tangible.
No, it's not tangible at all.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for the Keep Effing Going book. I really appreciate it. If anybody wants to hit this up, you guys can purchase it online. It's in Amazon right now on the storefront. You can definitely grab it there, but it is a great read and something to indulge in. Next up, I think we've got these really cool cards on the table. B, do you want to?
We do. We have some Better Than Yesterday cards, 365 daily challenges to live a more confident, fulfilling, and carefree life. Each of us have some cards in front of us. So we'll give you 3 options today, 3 tasks that you can take on within the next 3 days, or you can take them all on the same day. It's up to you. This is your narrative. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. I have to tell you guys.
Tell us.
Yeah,
PB&J.
Yay!
Delicious.
So when you look for Pie Talk,
Absolutely.
I'm going to put in the tags PB&J, and we will show you guys the best pie made from PB&J today.
There is a super great pie out there.
Yes.
There's a peanut butter jelly pie.
Yeah.
It hits good.
It does.
Yeah, it makes you fulfilled. So
It's
I
like
love that that's what we have at our table.
Peanut butter, base with a, jelly circle or a swirl, I mean. So
It satiates.
Yeah.
You know?
heck yeah.
I grew up on PB&J, like, for real.
Right?
Side note, I was a fat kid and I loved it. So I once wanted to write a book called The Fat Kid Cookbook about all the little things that you've been eating after
Right.
school. And one of them had, if you take a PB&J and you fry it up in some butter.
You know what I recently heard? is like for the best grilled cheese sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
you put mayo on it instead of butter.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, I can see how that could be.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
I could get behind that at least once.
Yeah, just to give it a try.
Yeah, just to see what it's about. My kids love grilled cheese.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Can't go wrong with that.
Jill, you're the guest.
Yeah.
Please have
Pick a card, any card, and give them a dose of pie.
Okay, well, we're going to go with the top one, which is 1111. And I know that y'all were just talking about numerology and angel numbers, which is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And so when I saw this card, I said, yes, I am going to share 1111.
So quick backstory. Jill actually got me into numerology when I was incarcerated. Sent me the books.
Yep.
And, I went in and I was like, oh my, this is the shit.
Yeah.
Very real.
So,
it is.
Yeah. And I actually brought it home, showed my wife some of it, and we did the birth charts for both of our kids. And that alone convinced my wife that there was some validity to the vibrations of the numbers, because when we did our son's chart, it keyed in on his qualities, his personalities, his perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfectly. And we did the child version because he's 6, and it was right on, and we actually used that information in our parenting of our 6-year-old. So
and what I love about that too is it sounds like, so you offered some pie. You offered a chance for him to pursue some new, internal evolution. And it's kind of interesting, you took that and then you also exposed your wife to it. And I think it's neat that you guys took a risk on something that you didn't know. So if you guys have not indulged at all into numerology, please give it a chance, man. It's really fun. Numbers are a really great way of communicating with things outside of us. So.
Absolutely. It's really helpful too, to tap into that energy and receive, these downloads of information, and have a greater understanding of what's going on in our personal life. And, I won't get too much into it because I know y'all just did an episode about it, but I'm all about it for sure.
It's all pie. Just start with your life path number.
Right.
Google what's my life path number. It'll explain it to you, and just see what you come up with. See if it's for you. If it's not, it's not. It's all pie. It's all positive. It's all for personal growth, and enjoy.
Another easy little quick way of getting at it too is if you see 1, 2, 3 numbers in a row of the same sequence, 111, 222, 333, go ahead and just check it up on Google.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. You'll see all sorts of little clues and hints. It's really easy to absorb.
License plates, a receipt, any number that really stands out to you. Even, my gas receipt the other day was 4334.
Ooh, perfect.
So I was like, oh, this is a unique number. Let me look it up. And boom, sure enough, resonated with what's going on for me. So just check it out.
Thank you.
Eat that pie. Yeah.
All right. 11:11 it is.
So 11:11. Today at 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m., take a moment to make a wish.
Ooh.
You work hard. Use 11:11 to take a minute to be grateful for your hard work.
I love that.
Yeah.
Last week I touched a little bit on this, but
manifestation.
Absolutely. So it's super perfect. Of course, seems to be how this table keeps running. So, but everything, when you see a 111 behind your thought process, it's backing you up. Everything, the universe, the currency, all of the good in our lives, it's coming, and it's literally gonna support your thoughts and everything that you want. So if you take this chance to make a wish, something that you really, really desire internally, and you focus not only just your ability to dream, but your actual possession of the thought. Really hold and sit with that, and then I think the universe might support you.
I think so too. I know so.
Yeah.
I know so.
Amen.
PB&J says it is so.
Right.
Yeah.
It is so.
Delicious.
You going next?
I think so. Let's go. I'm just gonna go for the top card. I think it's perfect. We've got Better Than Yesterday, number 84. I really like that.
I was born in 84.
Oh, hitting it again.
These numbers, I'm telling you.
Approach a stranger who's wearing headphones and ask them what they're listening to.
Okay.
Ooh. Get a glimpse into other people's worlds. Maybe you'll find a new soundtrack to your life. This reminds me of the blueprint. And there's a really cool part in the blueprint talking about how curiosity fosters connection. Do you want to hit on that?
That's part of the philosophy that I embody, that I teach, and that I believe, because even in the world of recovery, right, it's often said that the opposite of addiction is connection. So recovery, connection, curiosity, it all goes hand in hand and forms a circuit of currency that is residual, right? So that right there, just seeing somebody with headphones on, approaching them just on a human level with that love that we described, just positive energy, thoughts, time, and actions invested, taking that one moment to say, hey, what are you listening to? And if they receive that and explain to you, oh, yeah, this is such and such, it might be, like it says, something brand new that you've never listened to before. Then take that next step, look it up, and enter into that person's world just for a moment. That is the connection. That is part of the blueprint agreements. Also, is communicating to understand and to promote unity amongst ourselves, with yourself, to grow, learn about somebody else's culture, right? These are the things that will get us towards that higher consciousness and away from the tea and the separation and the negativity and the disconnect.
Yeah. The thing about that too, it sounds like it's a 2-for-1 special on some pie. Because it's not just you. You don't get to just eat the pie by yourself. Maybe you're finding somebody, you're interacting with somebody who really needs some pie in their life, you know, and that alone could have value that you don't understand until you get there and try. So I highly accept this challenge. I think I'm gonna try it out too.
And honestly, a lot of times when we're wearing headphones, it's a sign of like, do not disturb. So let's disrupt on a positive level, right? Because sometimes people are in their own world for a lot of different reasons, and like you were saying, Priscilla, like maybe they need that tea, because you don't know. We can never judge a book by its cover, and sometimes people don't have enough interaction with each other,
especially with social media.
Yes,
we are so disconnected right now. It's this stuff right here is wonderful, and I hope that the more pie we serve from this bakery, the more people start considering their connection to humanity, starting with their connection to themselves, is a priority. It becomes a priority to not be so focused on the narrative of social media and what they say is okay or acceptable, like you're being judged by a platform where more than half of it isn't even real. People are literally entering into like virtual reality versions of themselves, and then real people are looking at these picture perfect presentations on social media, and they're getting depressed. They're creating this narrative like, oh, if I'm not like this, then I'm not worthy and I'm not good enough. Wrong.
You're so worth it. One thing that I had struggled with in the past is not seeing every part of my life as being divine. And so one thing I've been indulging in right now is divinity. Like divinity could be in the worst day, the worst experience of your life. It could be the most beautiful opportunity or a chance to expand. And so when we are fostering these connections, taking these chances on other people, like you have to look at that like this is your opportunity to pivot somewhere really great. And when you're there in front of that person, you're there for a reason, and you're not going to pop off and open your mouth unless you're supposed to. So
true.
Very well put.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, my turn. So I actually, when Priscilla was out of the room, stole this card because it was sitting on top of her stack, because it says better than yesterday. LOL. Sorry, I'm an Aries. I thought that's my card because I'm an Aries. So this is better than yesterday, number 83. So as you can see, I took it from her stack. Hers was 84. Learn about what your zodiac sign means. It's always helpful to learn more about yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, and personality. And this really just continues to resonate with the conversation that we're having with pursuing internal evolutions. If you've never indulged in astrology, why not? Even if it's just for a different type of dessert, than you're used to.
Yeah.
Just try something new.
Yeah.
Look up your zodiac sign, match that up with your life path number, and see how many of the characteristics that you're able to ascertain from that information that can really resonate with you and maybe give you some insight into why the universe claims you're doing what you're doing. Because that's what astrology and numerology is about. It's about the universe saying that you already have a blueprint for yourself, and your birth chart and your numerology birth chart. It is very finely tuned to each individual person, like a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Very unique. And go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we are all on purpose. That's how I feel. Like every time somebody shows on Earth, it is absolutely immaculate. You are coming in on your time. I was trying to play God a little bit when I was making a baby, and I love this because I wanted a Libra. I wanted a Libra baby so bad. My baby's father is a Libra. I thought it'd be cool. I could bunch them into a little group, and I could understand them, and we could keep a house functional. So my baby's due date was the very first day of Libra, 9/23, okay? And so I'm rooting for it, and I can feel it. And 9 months go by, and we are on 9/22, and I go into labor, and that little girl, she came out at 11:32 p.m., and she is a Virgo. So even though I tried my might, she became a Virgo. And the best part about this is, when I had her, I thought, I don't know any Virgos. Like, what am I going to do with this? Come to find out, after I really thought about it, my mother and my daughter are born 2 days apart.
Oh,
so
wow.
I grew up with a magical, intuitive, incredible Virgo woman who was my leader. And as much as I might have been a stink about it, I later on got to understand her beauty. And my child, oh man, she is packing some Virgo heat. She's intuitive. She's brilliant beyond this earthly world. She sees things outside of the frame of other people. Her eyes, she even says, Mama, I can see pictures in my head that are different than what other people see, or she can see feelings. I love that. She's only 4 years old, and she can already articulate the wonder that being a Virgo really brings her.
Yeah, she's really, really, really smart.
You know, I met her for the first time this morning, and she just has a very vivacious, energy, and she's so articulate for a 4-year-old.
Right, and she came that way.
Stop.
Right.
Right off the shelf.
Right off the shelf.
She didn't have to do any upgrades or anything.
Right.
I also love to be, I don't know if you want to talk about your daughter, her name. Actually.
Well, yeah, Aries is our daughter's name, and I've been telling her I can't wait for them to meet, because like Aries is 9 going on 40.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She's rich.
With like a 1960s soul. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, the energies of our children need to be, honored and preserved. And they're actually really an understanding into ourselves again, because we become adults and we forget our inner child. We forget the part of ourselves that essentially could be considered the best versions of ourselves when we were kids, and you talk about when kids go to like a playground, they just run out there and, hey, how are you? My name is this. You want to play? And where did that go away as adults? Like, we don't just push up on people in the mall and be like, hey, what's your name? I'm so-and-so. Like, I like your shoes. What's in that headphone set? Yeah, and also we're going to get into the final kind of segment of the episode, which is based on the 4 agreements. Jill, you can recite those.
You know what? I cannot.
Oh, okay. You put it on the fly. Okay,
I
you
know
put it on
that
the fly.
Be impeccable with your word is one.
That's probably the best.
And that I take that near and dear for sure. So I can recite that one, and then you say next, and then you say the last 2.
Okay.
Okay? Put y'all on the spot too.
I'm going to go for always do your best.
She's the 4th one. But it's one of the 4.
I really appreciate that one, because I like identifying that your best is different all the time, and like really evaluating that. Like when you're super healthy and you've been on a run, after that you're going to feel really different. You're going to have endorphins in your body that are going to perpetuate your movement and your thoughts. But there's times when you're a little sluggy buggy, and you can still do your best, but it's going to look a little different. And when you are seeing yourself like that, make sure to be impeccable with your words, be kind to yourself, and allow it to be what it is.
And also, that brings up a very recent example. Jill here called me on the way to this recording and says, "Hey, I'm lost my voice. Am I good to come?" Like, she came anyway. She showed up and she did her best. And sometimes your best might be with a slightly lost voice. Sometimes your best is like you feel like Superman, right? So
she still has value to her words, and that's what's
the
important.
impeccability of her word, you guys probably can't even tell, right? And the last two, but not the last two, is don't take anything personally. You know, allow people their narrative and don't agree to accept somebody's tea as your responsibility or their feelings as your responsibility. And the last one is don't make assumptions. Curiosity fosters connection, right? It goes hand in hand. So ask questions, as many questions as you possibly can, so that you get an understanding, which will create a connection rather than making an assumption and putting that on somebody as if it's fact. And then your narrative becomes their narrative, at least in your mind, right? So we have these cards written by the author of the Four Agreements. They're random. There's 48 of them, so each of us have one.
Yep.
Correlating to a different agreement. And we're going to share those with you and do final thoughts after that.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jill.
Yeah, totally. So my card is don't make assumptions, communicate with clarity. And on the back it says, communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama, aka the tea.
Okay, I see what you did there.
If all humans would communicate with impeccability of the word, all of our relationships would change. There would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that you know, our words are so powerful. Our thoughts are so powerful, and the way that we communicate really dictates how the energy is within ourselves and outwardly to others. And so I was just having this conversation with my 10-year-old niece about being mindful of what you talk to yourself, you know. And I think that as adults we can be really harsh on ourselves and critical, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference in how we feel about ourselves. So be impeccable with our words and the way in which we say something to others. It will make a difference.
The old adage, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So be mindful of your delivery.
Yeah, I think another really valuable point here too is it seems like it's just a simple task, right? That this is just a little thing that we can do throughout our day. But the end of the card says no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. Like, think about the value in that impact. And it just takes a second to stop, think about it before you speak. Yeah. I love it. So my card, of course, because I said it was my favorite, and the universe always provides, always do your best.
Yes.
Love and nurture your body.
100%.
Beautiful. So your own body is a manifestation of God. And if you honor your body, everything will change for you. Practice giving love to every part of your body. This will plant seeds of love in your mind, and then when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. This has been a primary focus for me. I think when you plant that seed on the inside, you want to grow goodness and you want to perpetuate that. It'll come outwardly too. I want to talk a little bit with Jill on this one because Jill knows all about feeding the body with the goodness, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that is so that when you were reading that, I said, oh yeah, that resonates, you know, so much because, you know, believe it or not, we can think ourselves sick and we can think ourselves healthy.
Yes.
And we can quite literally manifest disease in our bodies.
Yeah.
And we can also manifest optimal health. And it all goes hand in hand with, you know, the food for thought and food for, you know, body. It all is nutrients to us. And we really do have to be mindful of all of these, you know, of the words that we say, the, you know, the thoughts that we think about our body makes a difference. And the food that we eat obviously makes a difference as well. And it all goes hand in hand. And I think that we do, moving into this new season, I think that we need to take more time to honor ourselves and to do more sacred body care and learn more about what does that look like and how can we do that.
Yes.
And I also, the fuel that you're putting in your body is what's going to keep you moving and going. You wouldn't put diesel in a regular working vehicle. So you want to identify what's the best kind of fuel you want in your body and only allow that fuel to be there.
Right. And also speaking on that, too, is treating ourselves on a bio-individual level, because what works for one is not going to work for somebody else, because we are made up so completely different. So one of the things that, in the NuYOU Cooking brand that I really started promoting through going through my own health challenges the last 2 years is dropping the labels.
Yeah.
Who cares about these labels that we, say vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, carnivore, keto? It doesn't matter. Let's just go with what our body is telling us, because that's what we need to honor, is what we need as fuel for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're premium. Yeah. We are, the cream of the crop, the premium grade. And like Priscilla was saying, we're not
health.
That's right.
That's what.
And that optimal health needs optimal nutrients.
Absolutely. I actually have given into every stinking label out there. I've been a vegan, I've been a pescatarian, all of that. And I came up with my new idea or concept. If anybody wants a label, you guys can take this one, okay? Yeah. I am a pickatarian, okay?
Okay.
So I pick what I want to eat when I want to eat it.
There you go.
And so that means I'm going to eat what makes me feel good. And like before, maybe sometimes I wouldn't eat a ton of meat just because it was making me feel a little bit bogged down. And other times, when there's a smoked rib at a barbecue, I'm eating it. I'm not stopping myself, And I think that this concept of just really picking the fuel for your individual self and your everyday needs, it's going to be different all the time, you know?
Which aligns with the authenticity of your definition of success.
Yeah.
Because you gauge your success, your healthy, successful journey is when you feel good about what you eat, you're being successful in your diet.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you be proud of yourself.
Yeah. And what I say to people is, when you feel better, you make better decisions.
Yeah.
And when you make better decisions, you do better in life.
That Freudian slip, bake.
Bake.
We are in the bakery.
We are in the bakery.
Bake pie. Don't make tea.
Right.
Last but not least, I have don't take anything personally. Your embrace of freedom. You gain a huge amount of freedom when you take nothing personally. No spell can affect you regardless of how strong it may be. Fear, if you love, you will be happy with your life. With that being said, I just want to give Jill an opportunity to tell people where to find you.
Please.
Which social media, what platform are you most active on? Where would you like to send people to get to know more about what you do?
Well, thank you for that. So most active for NuYOU Cooking and Consulting on Facebook. So it's NuYOU Cooking and Consulting. Also on Instagram at NuYOU_cooking. Also on TikTok at NuYOU TV. And of course, I have a website, www.nuyoucooking.com, NuYOUcooking.com. Also, Nubo3 Lifestyle, that's NUBO3 Lifestyle on Instagram and on Facebook. And our website for that is www.nubo3.com.
All right.
Yeah, I did want to say thank you so much to Jill. I actually just met her about an hour ago, if not less.
I bet y'all can't tell.
And I just sitting next to her, just being around her energy and her example, her vibration, her currency, just is emitting so much benefit to my life. And so thank you so much for sharing that with us today and everybody else out there. I appreciate you, Jill.
Thank you. And I look forward to getting to know you more. And
we got PB&J to make.
Hey,
right?
PB&J. This is a regular thing.
Yeah.
Jill will be on the show as
For
a
sure.
regular guest.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Joshua Smith, Jordan Davis. You already know.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate your comments, Kalina. So make sure you like, subscribe, comments, questions. You are giving us the content to give back to you. This is a give and receive exchange of currency. And see you next time at the bakery.
Hey.
High five.